Hey guys, what's up? Today we're going to talk about the must-have running backs of 2023 for your fantasy redraft season. And the biggest thing about running backs is the volume is king. And nobody explains that better for running backs except Nick Chubb. He is the king of volume. 190 rushing attempts every season in the NFL. 25 targets in the last 2 seasons each. And that was with Kareem Hunt. Now he's gone and there's just Jerome Ford, who is a late round darling, but we don't need to worry about him as much because Nick Chubb is probably the best running back in the NFL. I'm not saying the best fantasy option, but the best running back in the NFL. And here's the thing, he has a potential out in 2024. Now last season I was telling everybody, jump on Josh Jacobs, they're going to ride him till the wheels fall off and they're going to move on. They didn't move on, they franchise tagged, but I was pretty much right on that one anyway. That potential out is important for Nick Chubb. They are going to ride him out. They are going to beat him down. They're going to take some pressure off Deshaun Watson still. Yes, they're going to open it up. But they're not going to change their entire philosophy now all of a sudden just because they added Elijah Moore and Cedric Tillman. Neither of them are world beaters. Amari Cooper's barely a world beater. But you know who is a world beater in his position? Nick Chubb. Don't forget to draft him this season. Next up on the list of running backs we must have in 2023 for a fantasy redraft season is James Conner. And I get it. Arizona's going to be atrocious. Kyler Murray's injured. DeAndre Hopkins wants out. New head coach, new GM. It's going to be a train wreck, but volume is king. And that depth chart at running back is atrocious. We do not want anything else there. Keontae Ingram is not a player that worries me. So, if you have that, and you have Kyler Murray missing games where it's Colt McCoy or Clayton Tune as the quarterback, they are going to run the ball. And you know what you do when you have a really bad defense? You slow the game down. You keep that defense off the field. That way you don't have to worry about it. Jonathan Gannon's going to run that type of system. It's going to be a very slow, methodical pace this year. And I'll be real surprised if we even see Kyler Murray at all because they have no reason to bring him in. They're going to basically be tanking, trusting the process. Welcome to Philadelphia. Trusting the process and realizing that they have 2 first-round picks now after the draft last season with the Houston Texans trade. So they're playing for next year. James Conner won't be a part of the plan next year. I'm telling you that one right now. He's going to be out of the plan after this. So again, ride him till the wheels fall off. Let him get his volume, beat him down a little bit, slow the game down this season. Keep yourself in the game, even though you're probably not going to win the game. James Conner is not going to be sexy for your fantasy team, but James Conner will be vital as a running back 2 for your fantasy team. The next person up is Miles Sanders, ex-Philadelphia guy. Loved him, but it was time for him to go. But here it is. He's in Carolina with nobody. Nobody's there. CHUBB Hubbard, he doesn't scare me. The wide receivers, none of them are going to demand some crazy target share where they're going to pass so much and run so little. They have Andy Dalton maybe starting. Do you really want to put the ball in his hands? You have Bryce Young. You want to protect your young quarterback, your number 1 pick. You're going to run a lot, and they paid the man. And again, they're just going to run him for the next year or 2 till the wheels fall off because that's what happens to running backs anymore. They will use them. And Frank Wright knows how to use a Miles Sanders. He's good with that. He's going to be okay. Miles Sanders is going to get a lot of volume again. And again, just give me the guys that are going to get volume who don't have a quarterback that is a mobile quarterback to steal carries from them inside the 20. That's why everybody loves the Eagles running backs. It makes no sense because Jalen Hurts had 44 attempts inside the 20. You're not going to see that here with Bryce Young. They're going to protect him. He's yay big. Why would they run him all over the place? Miles Sanders is going to get a lot of carries, and we saw what that offensive line did last year as they bullied everybody. Don't miss out on Miles Sanders. Again, it's not a sexy name. You're not going out and getting the person that everybody's like, oh man, I want him on fantasy. But you know what you are going to go get? Fantasy points. That's what matters. Miles Sanders for 2023. Trust me. Our last guy is somebody I hate to write about because his name is impossible some days, but Ramondre Stevenson. Again, who else is with him? And we're in a system with Bill Belichick who he wants to run a lot. He wants to slow that game down. They do not trust Mac Jones. Hell, there's even conversations that could be Bailey Zappi. Who knows what's going on with this offensive coordinator? But you know what I do know? I do know one thing. Ramondre Stevenson's going to be the workhorse of that team. Yes, other people are going to come in and get the ball, but he is going to get the ball. He is still going to get his 3rd down. He can catch the ball. It's Bill Belichick. And as great as a coach as he might have been at one point, especially with Tom Brady and everything else, I think this version of the game in 2023 has passed him by. And he is going to stay into that old style of game where he's going to run that ball, slow the clock down, play it slow, win 20-17, and go home with a W. He's not going to get many W's this year, but what we will get is the volume from Ramondre Stevenson. So all 4 of these players we just gave you, Nick Chubb, James Conner, Miles Sanders, Ramondre Stevenson, you know what they all have in common? Volume. Ramondre Stevenson is going to get the ball a lot. And there's going to be some trench battles between the Patriots and the Jets, the Patriots and the Bills, the Patriots and the Dolphins. There's going to be a lot of running because you're going to want to keep Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle off the field. You're going to want to keep Josh Allen off the field. You're going to want to keep Garrett Wilson off the field. They're going to be keeping the game slow because that's how the Patriots have to win this season. And to slow the game down, you run that ball, you're methodical, you're boring, but for us, it gets us fantasy points. So Ramondre Stevenson in 2023, book it. If you like these 4 players that I just gave you or any of the other videos on this page on YouTube, do me a favor, go like them, go subscribe, go share, leave some comments. I'm here to talk fantasy football with everybody. I want to have some fun with it. It's a passion of mine. It's a passion of yours if you're watching this video. Let's have some conversations, and I'll see you next time.